Mic check, man. Can y'all hear me? It's been a minute. I know. I'm trying to see who all up in here. So y'all gonna have to excuse me if you can't hear me. Let me know. Because right now it's saying that I ain't got nobody in here, but I see y'all commenting. So, okay, I got 7 people in here. There we go. Just give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. Can you hear me? Okay, Chad says we good. Hey, y'all gotta... We working with what we working with, man. I'm still stuck here in the desert. Working on getting my way back home, but it looks like your boy not gonna be home until after the 6th. So... we just, hey, it's game week, man. It's game week. So, let's get, I ain't been able to talk to y'all in like a month. It's been almost a month, man, since we've talked. We ain't got to talk about KJ Bolden. As y'all see, I need a damn haircut. Look at that. Oof. Your boy need a haircut bad. Right now it looks like we good. If I freeze up, if it's a delay, if I get a little blurry, hey, I'm working on desert signal. So I'm trying to get it to y'all how I can get it to y'all. You feel me? We working how we working. Prop my phone up a little better. Okay. Yeah, that's better. How we feeling? How are we feeling, man? Hit the like button. Hit the like button. Looks like we got a decent signal, y'all. Not how I wanted to start off the season, but I gotta chop it up with y'all. When I get back, we'll get back to the regularly scheduled programming. But until then, this is what we got. So I am gonna be able to watch the game. Matter of fact, let's just go through all the comments, y'all. What's up, Marcus in the building? Chad Kinsler in the building. Insane Mob. Born Legacy. Shamar, Fatal Jedi, Damien, Jersey, Black Shear, Mr. Wolf, Priscilla in the building, Nick's in the building, Raymond's in the building, man. Y'all hit that like button. As you know, it's your boy POLK over here on 863 Seminole TV. Not how we usually kick off the season, but this is how we're going to kick off the season this year. This is how we're going to kick off the season this year. Hey, not the best, but it could be worse. It could be worse. It is game week. We had week 0. Did any of y'all watch the week 0 games? I was able to see some of the USC game. So I caught some of the end of that one. But it's week 1, y'all. Well, I think Florida plays. Doesn't Florida play Thursday or Friday? Yee. What's up? I think Florida plays Thursday or Friday. The battle of the Who's the Real Miami comes up this weekend. And of course, you got the main event of the evening, or of the weekend, should I say. The main event. What's up, Kings, eh? The main event. FSU versus LSU. Chris Robinson. I can't give you a video, Chris, because I'm not on my normal platform. But as always, man, Chris Robinson with the $9.99, $10 don't know. What up, POLK? Orlando on the check-in. Thank you for your service. Let's go. Appreciate you, Chris, as always, man. Donald, it's good. That's right. It's time to line this thing up, man. The main event this weekend, Sunday night, FSU, LSU. Jeff Allen, what's up? So we're gonna talk some. What y'all think about this? Here, let's start off with this, y'all. Let's start off with the depth chart. Some interesting developments, man, on that depth chart. I think so, anyway. What's some of the stuff on the depth chart that stood out to some of you guys? I saw some interesting developments on that depth chart. We're gonna get into them, but I need y'all to let me know, like, what stood out to you. Jeff with the $5 dono. Hey, appreciate you, Jeff, as always. Jeff, another one, always in here showing love. Two Jeffs, Jeff Hill and Jeff Allen. What's up, Jeff Allen? What y'all think, man? What y'all think of that depth chart? Dustin Hill. Dustin Hill's got to be one of the biggest shockers on the depth chart. Him or Winston Wright in the slot. It's big. It's big time. What else? What else surprising about the depth chart? Everybody on that Dustin Hill. Yeah, Dustin Hill's a big one. For me, man, I'm surprised Bless Harris isn't penciled in as a starter. Right? Like, I'm not surprised. What's up, Ben Callahan? Appreciate you. Let's get it. What's good? I'm not surprised. That AC is loud. I'm not surprised that Robert Scott is starting at tackle. I'm surprised Bless isn't penciled in as one of the other tackle starters. I thought it would be Bless and then you move Robert to the right. Nope, Robert Scott still at left tackle. And Bless is in a or situation with Byers. That's very interesting to me. That Bless Harris is not penciled in as a starter, and it's either him or Byers will get the nod. I'm very interested to see how that one shakes out. You know, how if you've been watching, y'all know I don't know about Byers as a tackle. I've been pretty vocal about, I think Byers is better suited off inside. But we'll see. We'll see. We will see on that. Casey Roddick is a starter. Of course, we know Big Mo in the middle, Meach at the other guard, and then we don't know who's getting a nod, Bless Harris or Byers. So that's interesting, man. And then Darius Washington is also in the mix here at a couple spots. If you look at the depth chart, he's a backup center, and he could potentially be. He's in an or situation, as they say, with Big Meach. So a lot of rotations on that offensive line. It looks like it's gonna be interesting to watch how that plays out, man, on that old line. Ayo not in the rotation over Malcolm Ray. I'm not too surprised over Tafasi. Not because it's a knock on him. I just don't think there's a need to rush him. It seems like they're gonna evaluate Byers and Bless in game. Thought Bless Harris was going to be a starter for sure. I thought so too. So I think that's the first thing that kind of stood off to me. Obviously, Dustin Hill, right? Dustin Hill's the big one. Because, again, here's a guy that I didn't have any expectations for coming into this year. And the fact that he might, man, how many targets is Dustin Hill going to get this year? Hit that like button, y'all, by the way, as I bring you this great quality content from the desert, though. But, I mean, how many targets we really think Dustin Hill going to get? I mean, this is going to be very interesting to see how he continues to, how his situation on this team continues to develop. So Dustin Hill's the big news. I think Bless Harris is kind of big news too. The fact that he's not a for sure starter, very interesting. What else? What else we got? What's your opinion on Benson kit return? I understand it, but I'd rather have him strictly backfield. Throw Douglas or somebody back there. I have no problem. So you got Trey Benson at kick return. You also have Keon Coleman at punt return. And this has been a little bit of the discussion on social media. Hey, man, when Peter Ward was here, he was the best player on offense, right? He also did what? Return punts and kicks and all that other stuff. To me, that is not a big deal. You put the athletes, put your playmakers in positions to make plays. I have no problem having Keon or Trey back there returning punts and kicks. Like, Reggie Bush did it. Peter Warrick did it. Like, you put the ball in the hands of your dynamic playmakers and let them get it done. So I got no problem with it. Got no problem with it. And you're deep at running back. I mean, because Zion Holmes looks like a guy, right? We already talked about Dustin Hill and Keon Coleman and Winston Wright and now Johnny Wilson. Hakeem broke the depth chart, so Hakeem Williams is on that depth chart. I mean, and Tron. You don't have to worry about snaps. Or I guess worry that Trey Benson might get tired or something like that, right? I think you're fine. I really think you're good. Jeff with another dono says, at $10, Dustin. Oh, it jumped on me. Hold on. Yeah, Dion return punts. Good point, Raymond. Dustin might get a lot of target only because people are going to concentrate on. It's possible. Dustin, those tight ends. Again, don't sleep on Winston Wright. Some bad news. I don't know if anybody's. Ja'Kai Douglas again hurt. He might miss a couple games to start the season, which really, really bothers me. Only because I really think Ja'Kai. I think he fits his offense. I think he can do a lot of things in this offense. I think every time he's been on the field for this offense, he's been productive. And unfortunately, man, the guy stays getting hurt, which is very unfortunate. Very unfortunate. But there's going to be plenty of targets to go around, man, on this offense. Plenty of targets. Jarian over Greedy. Greedy reportedly was performing well. I'm not too mad about that. I'm glad to see Jarian is not starting on the outside. So that is a huge plus in my book. And Jarian in at the nickel spot, I think works. Him and Greedy, I think works. Love seeing AZ. One of the big surprises in the secondary, Quindarius Jones in the 2-deep rotation at corner, I thought was a little surprising, man. That's a true freshman. I did not see Kirkland. Did anybody see Kirkland, who a lot of people thought might have been the most talented guy maybe they brought in? I mean, I won't say talented, but he had a lot of raw potential. You do got Conrad and Edwin, but no Kirkland on the depth chart. I thought was very, very interesting. How's the desert? It's the desert. Hot. You like Holmes over Hill? I want to see Holmes. I like both. I don't know. I don't know if I can pick a guy, but I'm interested to see. I've seen more from Rodney Hill, so I'll give Rodney Hill the edge there. Hill will be open a lot of times because of where the better coverage guys will be from opposing teams. What up, Irv Gotti? Ashland Baker is from your city getting burned. I saw him on the depth chart. So I thought Quindarius Jones was another surprise. What else? Brandon was good. Yep, game week, baby. Any other depth chart surprises? I'm trying to think. I don't think anything else really stood out. O-line, Dustin Hill, Jarian Jones kind of stood out. Some of those other freshmen, DBs kind of stood out a little bit. What's up, D. Thompson? Your thoughts on LSU star D tackle being out for the game and how much of an advantage and impact on the game? Well, it's the same advantage and impact last year, I think. When you don't have to worry about blocking a guy like that, Mason Smith, who I think a lot of people think is very talented, though he, hasn't really shown it. But, right, you can look at him and say, okay, that's a dude. But injuries, and now he's going to be suspended and all this other stuff. But, yeah, I mean, it's always a plus. Anytime, that's an edge in the trenches for an offensive line that we think is going to be very good. The fact that you don't have to block that type of guy, that's a plus. People talk about Perkins, right? Perkins is a guy who didn't have an impact on the game last year, but he came along during the season for them. He's considered one of the better linebackers in the country, right? Well, what attributes to good linebacker play? Well, a defensive line that can make a linebacker's job easy. Well, not having Mason Smith, so it's nothing but a plus. You can say 2 years in a row, you can say now, do I think Mason Smith is good enough to change the outcome of this game? I don't know about that. I don't know if he's that because I haven't seen it. But it definitely doesn't hurt. It definitely doesn't hurt that you don't have to block that guy. And if you don't have to block that guy and Jordan Travis has more time, I can't wait to watch this game. I think FSU, I think LSU secondary is going to be not used to the LSU secondaries we've seen in the past. I think there's a reason they attacked the portal as hard as they did. They're counting a lot on a guy like Denver Harris, who really hasn't shown anything, but he was a highly rated freshman. Like, they got the Syracuse I don't know, man. I think our offense can be in for a big time game. Our wide receivers match up. They do more than match up well. I'll say that. They do more than match up well. I think our wide receivers have an obvious edge over that secondary. What's up, Mon? Trey. Blake in the 2D. I did see Blake on the depth chart. Can't wait to see Chestnut get cooked again. Brock Grin will be number 2 by end of the season. No need to rush Brock either. See, I don't know. I don't know what the deal was with that. No, I think he came... Bro, he missed like a weekend. From what I saw, yeah, he left the team for like 2 days and then he came back. So I think Denver Harris is back. He left the team for a couple days and came back. I think. Don't quote me on that, but I'd be shocked if Denver Harris didn't play in this game. I'm almost positive I saw somewhere that he left for a couple days and came back. So we match up well, man. We match up well. Depth chart came out today. And I ain't got no gripes. Again, there's a couple interesting developments on the O-line. In the secondary, Edwin Joseph, Conrad Hussey, all of these guys are in that secondary, man. Ja'Kai, talked about that. Ja'Kai's out for a couple games. Dan Squatch was good with it. Like I said, I think our receiver got the edge over those DBs, in my opinion. So I like the way Florida State's matching up. The question is going to be, how's our D-line do against an offensive line that is supposed to be very good? Now, that O-line got dominated last year. And we're a year bigger and stronger versus back. Fabo had his way in this game last year. Interesting to see if he does that again. Joshua Farmer should be a bigger factor, right? He wasn't really a factor at all last year, which, we're talking about a redshirt freshman, so it's not that big a deal. But now you bring in Braden Fisk to match up with Fabo. Pat wasn't a factor last year. Pat should be a big factor in this game as he lines up opposite of Verse. Our D-line against that O-line will probably make or break this game because that O-line is supposed to be very good. And they had some young, highly touted freshmen on that team last year that are now a year older, bigger, stronger, and are expected to do great things. But it's just no different from us, right? Jared Verse was playing his first D1 football last year. for us against LSU. Again, Pat Payton didn't play last year. He's gonna play this year. Braden Fisk, Fabian Lovett, who dominated. Now he's back. Farmer in the mix here. Would have been nice to have Jackson, but Daryl Jackson didn't get his waiver cleared. So I think that's going to be an ongoing process. We'll see if he plays at all this year or not. But I like the matchups, man. I like the matchups of this team. I'm not going to lie. In this game for sure, I like the matchups. Just last year, people thought Dustin Hill wasn't real. Now just this. Yeah, it's crazy, right? I was one of them. Didn't know if the dude was a real dude. Now all of a sudden, he's going to probably we probably get a heavy dose of Dustin Hill. In this game. And Dustin Hill's a great compliment to Johnny and Keon Coleman. But so is Winston Wright, right? LSU media says their receivers have the advantage over our secondary. Well, here's the thing about that, Fatal Jedi. I got to see that to believe it, because last year this time, everybody was talking about Butte and Neighbors and all those receivers last year. And they didn't do shit until the last 5 minutes of the game. So I'm sorry. Like, I don't know. And I think our secondary got better. Ronaldo Green, a year better. After finally being healthy all of last year. Now he's a year better. Fentrell Cypress, upgrade. AZ, from what I've been reading, AZ's been the dude in fall. And he's been a dude in fall camp. He's been really good in fall camp. Now he takes his game up to the next level. Bringing Jerry and Jones to nickel, I think, is a good thing with Greedy Vance. So for me, I don't know. Because I heard the same stuff about that offense, that those wide receivers last year. And them boys wasn't all that. The only thing that worries me about LSU's offense is the same thing that worried me last year. And that's your boy Daniels when he starts running around. If we can't contain him while he's running, then that's where we get in some trouble. So I'm interested to see how we contain him when it's scrambling time. Do they just spy him with Deloach? Do you spy him with Shaheem? How do you mitigate the run of the quarterback? Is how I'm interested to see how we play this game. But I'm not worried about Neighbors. I'm not worried. I mean, we'll see, right? And I'm not worried about none of these guys. They got some talented guys. Don't get me wrong, but hey, I'm not worried. That's a good question. Can we shut the run game down? They couldn't really run the ball on us. Now, it depends on what you're talking about, right? Are we talking about running the ball, conventional, or are we talking about the quarterback? Coleman will be the number one receiver by mid-season. I think Coleman probably is the number one guy already. And who would you put on Neighbors? Either one, you tell me. I don't think you have to really. I don't think, and maybe he'll make me eat my words. We'll see. I don't think Neighbors is a guy that I have to game plan for. I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it where I got a game plan for Neighbors. I put Ronaldo Green on him and call it a day, or put Cypress on him and call it a day. I don't really think. Talented player or whatever, but it's not. I'm not. I gotta pay attention to the quarterback, and if I limit the quarterback, I don't think the rest of the offense. You feel me? Is at least not from what I saw. Now this is a new team, different year. We'll see how it plays out though. Word I hear on Neighbors is, he was a real guy last year. How many catches did Neighbors have in last year's game? Now, granted, again, different year, so I can't take last year into this year. Absolutely cannot. But I'm got to show me. Can we stop LSU running the ball between the tackles? Again, last year had no problem with that. Also last year, it's the second game of the season for us. Fabian Love is healthy and such. And you go specifically to Florida and Oklahoma, Fabo was not healthy in those games, right? So I'm going to say absolutely we will be able to stop them from running the ball between the tackles. But we will see. Different year, different team. We will see, though. What's up, Kenny? Hopefully our D-line gets to Daniels so quickly he won't even have time to run away. Quarterbacks like Daniels are tricky, man, because even when you think you got him, you really don't got him. I mean, we got one ourselves in Jordan Travis. And how many times, specifically in the Florida game and the other games when a defense thinks you got him and you don't got him. So he's the one who worries me, because if he's running the ball and extending plays, then the offense will open up for sure. That's when you worry. I don't worry about Neighbors initially, but now if a Neighbors is able to work his way through the secondary and get open, now you can cause damage with Daniels being able to extend plays. That is Adam Fuller's job in this game, is to how do you stop Daniels from doing what he's good at? Can you stop Daniels from doing what he's good at? Adam Fuller's a D coordinator. We'll see how he tries to crack that code. So we'll see. We'll see how he tries to snap that code. Or crack that code, sorry. Fabo just started practicing last week. Probably gets less than 20 snaps first game. If that is true, that could be problematic. If Fabo's only playing 20 snaps, that could be problematic. FSU always seems to have trouble with mobile quarterbacks. Do you believe that Jaden Daniels will run more this year than last year? Will FSU contain him? Great questions. They got to try to contain him. As far as will he run more, I don't know if he's going to run more or not. I just think that's running quarterbacks, kind of a natural instinct. I'll be interested to see what they do with that, though. Have they tried to coach that out of him? Do they want him to do that? I don't know. I don't know if he's going to run more than last year or not. I hope we can contain him, though. Smith being out really is huge. Him in the game leaves a 0% chance. You can't just handle him in the middle. Like, his best fall ball is mighty hard to hit. I ain't on staff duty. Not on staff duty at all. I'm out here in the desert. What's good? What is good, Pharrell? They did deloach on some spy stuff last year. They did. Hit that like button. Thank you, Todd. I think my guess is FSU. We didn't blitz a lot last year. I don't think we're going to blitz a lot this year. I mean, I'm interested to see. My guess is they're going to want to get pressure with the front four. If Verse is who all the offseason hype says he is, you should be able to get some pressure on the front four. Because you can't double Verse. Right? You can't double Pat. Farmer takes that next step. The interior of that line is pretty damn good too. So I think they're going to put a lot of faith in that front four to get the job done. Well, when Jeremiah Smith flips to FSU, Polk, send me one of those FSU spears. Okay. Let me see. D-Lo did good at spy. What did I think when Patterson commit to the U? I didn't think anything of it. When you got KJ Bolden, there's no reason to worry. Patterson would have been a great addition. Don't get it twisted. And as we always say when these kids commit, right? The recruitment's not over. Apparently, he did an interview right after his commitment, even saying as much. Like, I'm still going to be visiting Florida State. If that interview was true, I don't see how or why it wouldn't be true. So, hey, I don't think anything of it. Miami better not lose to the real Miami is all I know. Because boy, oh boy, the internet will be set ablaze if Miami loses to Miami of Ohio. That might be the greatest day. If you don't have I don't know what they call it, X now, Twitter, X, whatever. If you don't have an account, you might want to make an account for that day if Miami loses. Daniels can run, but if you get to his leg, chat jump. I'm sorry, guys. Daniels can run, but if you get to his legs, you got him. The team did a good job stopping him last year. JT, however, is a better escape artist. I'm not going to argue with you who's a better runner. I don't think we did that good of a job stopping him last year. As a matter of fact, if you go watch, the only offense they were really able to generate was him with his legs. And it was enough to keep him in the game until they could make it a game at the end. So we got to do an even better job. You feel me? I think LSU putting Perkins at the middle backer is going to be a huge mistake. I get trying to stop the run, but JT will have all day to throw. FSU will need to keep JD in the pocket to make him beat us by being a passer. What's going on, Briley? Secondary should be better than last. Yeah, he still has to visit to go to Miami game and Michigan versus OSU. I still worry about Pat. He's not made the big jump to this frame's potential like he's made progress. But versus about capped out physically, Peyton has more hay to put in the basket, I'm assuming there. But I get what you're saying. I'm not too worried about Pat. But we'll see. We'll see. Y'all already know the answer to that. The Polk, which game do you think is more important? It's Clemson. It doesn't mean this LSU game isn't important, but for me, it's Clemson. You can lose this game and still make the playoffs. Granted, you can lose either game, but you can only lose one of those two games and still make the playoffs. But I think at some point, man, we got to get over that Clemson hump. If we want to really be back, we got to get over the Clemson hump. If you made me pick, I would lose this game and beat Clemson and run the rest of the table and beat Clemson twice. I think we still get in the playoff. She2Y thought he won the Super Bowl with the safety recruit pickup. We got the best safety in Bolton. I absolutely got the best safety in Bolton. And look, don't say anything bad about that, about Zaquan, because he might still end up being a null, but we'll see what happens, man. What's going on, VJ? Good to see you. Yeah, Pat's also a sophomore. Good point. What's up, Terrell? And hit that like button. So yeah, man, hit the like button. Y'all know, man, I'm over here in the desert giving y'all quality content, or trying to. But y'all know, man, it's a season. Y'all know what we do in the season. Saturdays, you get a halftime. You get the halftime stream of my halftime thoughts, and then we get the post-game instant reaction videos. So y'all, I know y'all love those, and ain't nothing changing, bro. Only thing that changed for this video is the location. But after this, well, after the LSU game, we'll be back to our regularly scheduled programming. So don't worry. This is not going to be the norm over here. And I ain't at war. What's going on, Johnny Buckets? What other team except LSU or Clemson? Which game is still a need? Well, they all are. What's your expectation is the question, Terrell. If our expectation is playoff, then every game's a must-win. It probably did say that, but I changed it up because I had time. So I was originally going to go live in a couple more hours, but I'm here now. I'm sorry for the miscommunication. I won't be home watching this game, no. I think we are going 4-0 in September. If we go 4-0, no, I've said this before, Josh. If FSU starts the season 4-0, you might as well start booking some tickets. Because then I don't see a loss. Unless they just fall asleep at the wheel against a Pitt or let one of the rivals stick around in a game that they shouldn't. FSU starts 4-0. start booking some tickets. Because it's going to get real. It's going to get real. Nah, you won't see me at the tailgate, man. I'm nowhere near. I'm nowhere near Florida. Nowhere near. What's going on, Brian Little? $41-24. I ain't mad at that score. I'm in the desert in the United States. I'll say that, Johnny. So I'm not overseas. I think ACC championship at a minimum, right? I think that's the expectation, to at least be in the ACC, to win the ACC. You know, like even if you lose to Clemson, you should still make it to the ACC championship game. So I think the ACC championship is the expectation. We talked depth chart at the beginning of the live stream, but feel free to ask the question, Ray Fitty. Like, by all means, we just talking LSU depth chart, whatever we talking. What about Wake? Wake's an interesting game. You haven't been able to get over the Wake hump either, right? But Hartman ain't there no more. Hartman's at Notre Dame, and I know the man threw for whatever he threw for against Navy, so now everybody's calling him the next great quarterback in America, whatever. But yeah, Hartman, he's not at Wake, so we ain't got to worry about that no more. Jason with the $20, appreciate you. He just sent a it's like a super sticker. NTC, baby. Hey, you said it, Gabe. You said it. You said it. I'm almost out of here. What's going on, January, man? Did you talk about the O-line? Yeah, I did talk about O-line. So we didn't talk about tight end, but we can talk about tight end I didn't talk about tight end. But we did talk about that O-line, and I thought there's some interesting developments on that O-line, Briley. We beaten Clemson 38-24. Hey, that was my preseason prediction, 38-24. No, I'm not on a deployment. No. But way too loaded on both sides of the ball to not get in the playoffs. But we always have that team we should beat. Yeah, I agree. Morlock got the nod over Biscuit. I mean, I don't think it's a big deal, but I will say that I don't know if I agree with it. But I do think they're going to rotate the tight ends in. And you're going to have Morlock and Biscuit on the field at the same time. You're going to have, I don't think it's a need to worry. So I'm not too worried. It's a little bit surprising, but I'm not too worried. All four tight ends will play a lot. I think we will find out where this team stands on Sunday. A win would be I agree with you. A win would be very nice. Playing Clemson twice, what's the likeliness? Got to be over 50% chance easily, right? Who's the third? Clemson and Florida State, and whatever order you want to put them in, are the top two teams in the ACC. Well, who's the third? Well, Drake May's the best quarterback, or the best pro prospect at quarterback, because I don't know if Drake May's a better college player than Jordan, but I do think Drake May transitions to the league better than Jordan Travis. Is North Carolina number 3 because they have the best quarterback? Is it Louisville? Is it Duke, who's looking to build off a surprising season from last year? Is it NC State? But they lost their court. So who's the third best team in the ACC? Is it Miami? Does Miami emerge as the third best team in the ACC? I don't know. And because you don't know, I think it's very likely that Florida State and Clemson play twice. I think it's very likely. Scott healthier than I thought, and one of Bless or yeah. So I talked about that early, man. Like I'm a little surprised that Bless isn't penciled in on the O-line. So I'm interested to see how that plays out. I'm interested to see how that plays out. Do you see LSU game as early quarter win, late quarter win, overtime? Interesting. I haven't really given much thought to how I think the game plays out. What I think will happen is, I think Florida State will jump out kind of early, like 24-7. But kind of similar to last year. Well, I think we'll jump out a little early, and then LSU will claw back. But this time we'll have answers for it, and we'll finish comfortably. I think we'll finish comfortably in this game. But hard to predict that, right? Hard to predict that. Duke is the third best team. Clemson will live and die by their defense and Will Shipley. Cade is still young, no real threat at wide receiver. FSU should be better than them based on experience and quarterback play. We definitely need to beat Wake. They beat us last 3 times. Yeah, time for some payback. Duke or Pitt. I think Pitt's the tougher game. I think I say this all the time about Pitt, man. They always a well-coached, a tough team who brings a tough defense to the table at a minimum. I think Pitt's the better, tougher game, and they're the game right before Miami. I just think that's the tougher game. Florida State's never lost to Duke. I don't expect us to ever lose to Duke. So that's just how I feel on that one. Have you fixed the field goal kicking problem? We'll find out. You think the roster is good enough for next year to overcome having possible downfall at quarterback? It's not like when Jameis Winston took over for EJ. Well, we don't know that. As far as quarterback goes, we don't know what some of these quarterbacks are going to be next year. I think, and I don't want to get too far into next year, because predicting rosters in this age of college football is almost impossible. Because this time last year, no one thought Dustin Hill would be here where we are. Okay? Dustin Hill's not on this team. Keon Coleman is not lining opposite of you get what I'm saying? Like, this time last year, this roster doesn't look like this. And so here we are a year later. I think it's, in this day and age, it's just hard to predict what a roster is going to look like. So who knows? I'll say this though. I think we'll be fine. I don't really have any dislikes on the depth chart, if I'm being honest with you. I don't see anything where I'm like, ugh. Only thing I will say is on the O-line. Again, and I gotta trust Atkins. Gotta trust Atkins on his evals. Bless Harris has to be one of the starting tackles. And Byers should probably be competing with Meach on whether or not to be one of the 2 guards. That's my opinion. But I'm not Alex Atkins. I don't see those guys every day. I don't coach those guys every day. So, yeah, Atkins feels the way he feels on that. It's a little bit shocking that Bless isn't, like, penciled in as one of the 2 tackle starters. So, that's the only, not a dislike, but it's a little bit of a head scratcher, right? But I don't have any dislikes. I don't have any dislikes about Dustin Hill either. I'm excited to see it. If they like it, I love it. I'm excited to see what he brings you. I lost some weight out here for sure. Yeah, I know y'all hear the AC in the back. The AC is pretty loud. It's one of the few buildings out here that's got AC. That's why I'm in here. And I locked the door, so ain't nobody else getting in here. I'm equal parts excited and petrified about Keon Coleman returning punts. I'm excited for it. QB will be fine. Brock Glenn will start until Luke is ready to go next year. What's up with Vendrivius? I don't know. What is up with him? Great question, because I don't know. Again, as far as like the news or some insight, Brian got none of that. Not only am I just a light-skinned dude on YouTube, I've been out of civilization for the last month, so I really don't know what's going on in terms of injuries or anything. I know as much as y'all probably know more about that than me. I've heard that Jacobs might be a little hurt, but again, even if he is or isn't, whatever, it's a freshman. It's okay. We got plenty of bodies at receiver. I wouldn't worry about Vendravius Jacobs. Op 4 about to pull up. I know the secondary will coach better than last year. If Miami, Ohio beats Miami, I'm going to Canton. Bro, if Miami, Ohio beats the U, them boys better delete all social medias. Byers was getting too many interviews. That's why I figured he would get the nod over Bless. He was wearing green jersey. Got to be banged up a little. You're talking about Jacobs. You think Ja'Kai Douglas was going to play if he wasn't injured? I would have hoped to see it. You know? That is a guy who I still... Man, I need a haircut. That is a guy who I think, can play. I think JT will make more completions against LSU this time. The offense will make fewer mistakes. I think the O-line will just overall be better. And I think that, I think Travis is going to be fine. I think Travis is going to be 100% fine, guys. Hit that like button if you haven't hit it for me. I think Travis is going to do the damn thing. I can't think of a position that I'm worried about. I really can't. I really cannot think of a position that I'm worried about. Can you? If Fabo is limited to 20 snaps, I have a little bit more worry on the interior of the D-line. Because now you're getting a lot of Fisk, you're getting a lot of Farmer. I don't know how much they play together. No Daryl Jackson. If you have Daryl Jackson, then Fabo being limited in snaps isn't that big of a deal. But with no Daryl Jackson, I mean, some of these guys, not a knock on Briggs, but some of these guys, we know what they are at this point. So I mean, how excited are you for Dennis Briggs? Quality guy who's going to give you quality snaps, but he's not going to have Fabian Lovett impact, or he's not going to potentially have Daryl Jackson type impact, right? So maybe a little worried on the interior if Fabo can't go a full game and is limited to snaps. I would worry a little bit about that. Other than that, though, I can't say I'm worried too much about this roster. Johnny, Destin, Bell, Keon sounds electric. Ja'Kai will split punt returns to Keon when he's back. I would like to see D. Hill at kick return. Irish O'Phil said Jacobs had a great spring and then used the phrase living up to obligations as the team transitioned into fall. Could have just been a throwaway. And then the last part gets cut off. Man, freshman or freshman. Who knows, right? Anything could be going on with that. The kicking game is a worry. I mean, yeah, until Fitz shows he can consistently make kicks, fair enough. Fair enough, Todd. Kainze says, stop it. I'm not sure what Kainze's talking about, but Kainze, y'all better not lose to Miami of Ohio. That's all I know. That's all I know, bruh. I'm excited to see safety Ashlyn Baker. If Miami loses to Miami home, Miami should just dislocate to Alaska. Jackson will get approved by week 3. Briggs can definitely be a decent player. I just don't, he's not a replacement, right, for Fabo. Norvell felt pretty confident about getting D-Jack back. How was Lovett still not fully recovered after all this time? I don't know. Just somebody said that he might be on a snap restriction this game. I hope not, but we'll see. We will see. Only position I'm worried about is hurricane. Yeah, there's a hurricane coming to Florida, right? It's like a tropical storm right now. I think I did read something like that. From what I heard, Farmer and Fisk have been strong in camp. That's good. That's good to hear. Said today if North Carolina wide receiver gets his waiver, that's a good sign for D-Jack also. Okay. So, yeah, man. I think when you look at the way this game, I'm way more confident this year than I was last year. I was pretty confident, if you remember, because we had like that preseason game, Duquesne, the week 0 game, right? Because we had that game, and then because Brian Kelly, new coach, they were implementing all this new stuff. I felt confident last year, and then I looked this year, and I might be even more confident this year, even though LSU is considered to be this really good team. But I don't know, man. The additions we've made to this team really have me excited. I really think like we made all the right additions to this team. I'm not saying LSU can't win, man. It's football. Any given Saturday, Florida State and LSU are not worlds apart, man. They're, in terms of talent, they're right, almost dead even. You can say they're even. Anybody can. I said it before. This is a 50-50 game, right? I just feel confident, man. I think what LSU does well, I think we match up well against it. I don't know if LSU can say the same about what we do well. I think the biggest thing to be interested about in game 1 is who picks up Treshaun Ward's slack. I think Florida State fans were so focused on the pass game, and for good reason, man. We got a lot of dynamic weapons, but we forget how good Treshaun Ward was. We forget that guy could make a run out of nothing because he had the vision and the patience, and then he could just hit the hole. Now, he wasn't explosively fast. He didn't have that next gear. But he can make something out of nothing. And when Trey Benson usually was struggling, Treshaun Ward usually was the guy to break something. And I'm very curious to see, do we have that guy to pick that up? Do we have Treshaun Ward's replacement? I think Trey Benson is a big, nasty athlete. I don't think he's the runner. To this day, I still don't think he's the runner Treshaun Ward is. Treshaun Ward just got that natural instinct that I don't think you can teach, right? He just has that. So I'm very interested to see who brings that. Do we have a person that can bring that? Because if we do, we're good. Treshaun Ward and Trey Benson complemented each other last year extremely well. And I'm curious to see, can we replicate that with him gone? That's maybe if you want to say a worry, right? That's the thing on the offense that I would pay attention to. Can we replicate that? And then defensively, man, I think we've upgraded everywhere. Like, look at who we lost defensively and tell me, do any of those losses hurt, right? So we lose D-Mac. Okay. So no one's going to miss D-Mac. Okay. Bringing back all the linebackers. Gainer. Or do we miss Gainer? I like Gainer, don't get me wrong, but no, we don't miss Gainer. Secondary. Brought everybody back. Sam McCall, like Omarion Cooper, like we didn't lose anybody, right? That you would go, like on offense, you can say what you want, but Treshaun Ward is a hit, right? Treshaun Ward is a hit. Defensively, though, we don't have that hit, and I would argue that we've improved across the board defensively, and we've upgraded. I would argue. Our wide receiver will expose their DBs. Jamie. I forgot about Jamie. Good point about Jamie. I totally forgot about Jamie. But I think Shaheem, I've said this before, and this is just my opinion on Shaheem. I think he might be a better. He's definitely. Shaheem is like what the NFL is looking for when you start talking about the modern safety. Shaheem's a big boy. 6'2", whatever he is, 200 plus, athlete, rangy, hits hard. Where I always looked at Jamie as a good college safety. We'll see what he does in the NFL. He got drafted in the 4th round. I don't know where Jamie or how he's going to translate. Right? I don't know how Jamie's going to translate. I think Shaheem, it might be controversial to say, I think Shaheem, when it's all said and done, might be an upgrade over Jamie. Because physically, I think he's more gifted than Jamie Robinson. We'll see if he puts the mental to the physical and becomes a complete package. I look forward to watching Shaheem Brown this year, for sure. I really do. Brandon says he's struggling in the NFL right now, but it's only preseason. But yeah, if he's struggling in preseason, oof. Again, that's not a knock on Jamie, man. Love Jamie. Glad we had him. He was a great safety for us the last couple years. But that's, I've said this about Jamie, so it's nothing new, right? Good college guy. Never thought he translated to the NFL particularly well. He can definitely make me eat my words. But I think Shaheem has the physical traits to do so. We'll see what he does with it, though. We'll see what he does. Will Span have a trick play versus LSU? I've said this before, guys. Y'all give up on that do Span stuff. Maybe he can return some kicks and have some play. Bro, I don't have any I now have more expectations from Dustin Hill as far as receiver goes than I have the Deuce Span. I don't know, man. I don't know if Deuce Span really sees the field, bro. I don't know. We'll see, though. We'll see. I think the Deuce Span experiment might be over. 2023 Leebies look like they hit on all of them. I hope Norvell has learned enough by now as a Power 5 coach to no longer call bad plays at times. Every coach is going to call bad plays, Shar. I don't know of a perfect play caller. Believe me, against LSU, if he has a some bad calls, people will give him the business. But I just want to see him protect the ball in crucial situations. That's all I want to ask from my play caller. I think we'll be good, though. Flea Flicker would like to see where Sam McCall is on. That's a good question. I don't know where Sam is. Someone could probably Google Texas A&M's depth chart and find out where McCall is on there. Dangray says Deuce will have an awakening. Well, let's hope so. Because now that's just another crazy weapon for us. If Deuce Span can actually, be a wide receiver. That would be, that'd be insane. Deuce Span's got too cool of a name. He's got the name. I'll give you that. Definitely has the name. 2024 maybe make or break for Deuce Span. I would argue it's already past make or break for Deuce Span. 2024, Lewis. Okay, let's think about this real quick. He's really not in any other rotation this year at wide receiver. Okay, next year, Hakeem's a year better. Jacobs is a year better. Goldie Lawrence is a year better. Dustin Hill's still on the team. I'm going to assume you lose Johnny. I'm going to assume you lose Keon and Winston Wright. And how many receivers are we bringing in this class? You're at least bringing in Elijah Moore and B.J. Gibson. I don't know, man. I don't know about that. I don't know about that at all. I think it gets harder for Deuce. I think it gets harder for him. We should revisit the Dustin Hill poll now. Over 200 yards. That's a good question. Yeah, that's a good point. Do we think Dustin Hill has over 200 yards in his freshman campaign? Because with the amount of attention that Johnny and Keon are going to get, if Dustin Hill's really lining up in the slot on a consistent basis, he shatters 200 yards, right? Yeah, Portier be back, right? So, I don't know, man. Span can be in some packages. Sure, he can be. He can be in some packages this year, but he's not. So, again, I don't know. That wide receiver room is just adding more talent. McCall is second on the depth chart at right corner. McCall's probably in that same position if he stayed here. McCall might have been a starting safety had he stayed here. Or the second string safety had he stayed here. But, McCall got to go do his best with Sam McCall. So we'll leave that alone. From what we have and what is coming in, Deuce Spann will probably transfer out. Jamie going to be one of the best cornerbacks in the NFL. He's a rookie. He's going to make mistakes. I'd rather he make mistakes now and become one of the best. I mean, that's a lot of faith in Jamie. I don't see that, but hey. May get Smith or Trader. I got Dustin Hill with 2 buddies against LSU. Love what we have at running back. What position are we thin at is the better question, because I don't think we're thin at any position other than safety. But now safety position is looking better. I mean, Ashton Barker or whatever is looking like he might be a player. They're very high on Conrad Hussey. You moved Kevin Knowles to safety. I mean, things might be playing out. Is Michael Pittman starting for Utah Thursday night? Great question. I don't know. Remember, he had a hip thing. Maybe he is playing. I look forward to finding out how often can Fisk break through that old line and cause chaos. If he or Peyton can do that just half as much as Verse can, our defense will be dominant. I feel like Deuce Spann transferred at the end of the season. Tutties, not buddies. Oh, I got you. I got you. Over or under for Dustin Hill 100 yards? I'm going to say under 100 yards for LSU. Let's not get carried away. But, hey, we'll see. If Djax were to get reprieve, does he start? If so, does he bump Fable or Fisk? I don't think he bumps Fable or Fisk, and I don't think he would start. But he's definitely the first guy off the bench, right? You take Fable out, you throw. That's where Jackson comes in. He's the first guy. He's the nose. He's the first guy off the bench. I don't think he starts over either one of those two, though. What's up, Tyler? So, yeah, man, I think, again, we looking good. And, again, I don't think we lost anybody. I don't think we lost anybody that, you would say, if he was still here, da-da-da-da-da. Other than Trayshawn Ward, right? Other than Trayshawn Ward, so. And again, I don't know how the quality of this video is going to come out, but y'all stick with me. Hopefully, I'm not lagging too much out here. He good to go. He got cleared like in July. So one of the streams, videos he find everywhere and catch. Okay, so Micah playing. Jen Fari, what's up, man? Let me get closer to the window. It looks like my signal's dropping a little bit. Oh well. I don't know. I think we're good. Oh. Okay, appreciate that. Appreciate that feedback, Char. Because I can't tell. Can't tell. Not using my typical streaming app, so I can't tell. But good. So what else we got, guys? We got about 30 more minutes. And that'd be all for this one. So what else? What else we got? I'm sure Deuce has a route or assignment that he really excels at, but just hasn't been used at. We'll see. When will you retire from the Army? No time soon. No time soon. unfortunately. Johnny Wilson is going to go off this year. I think Johnny's going to have all the opportunities in the world to be as good as he wants to be. Same thing with Coleman. I'm really interested to see how those two feed off of each other. I'm interested to see how defensive coordinators call it. Gonna have a post game? I plan on having a post game for sure, Raymond. Plan on having a post game for sure. He looked better than when he was here, sadly, going to miss on kick return. Does he? Well, good for him. We good. Like, I'm not worried about losing a receiver, and it's not a knock on Micah Pittman. It's just we good. We good there. We good there. Heard that Florida documentary was not good. I haven't watched it. I heard it was nothing but like a Urban Meyer fluff piece from what I heard. Span needed to be put at punt return with that speed. Yeah, again, that's one of those guys that we keep hearing about speed, and they can't see. They got him at kick returns, man. So we'll see. We'll see. Span kind of reminds me of another player. I'm not saying they play this. I'm not saying their game is the same. I'm saying the fans' expectations of Span, and y'all remember Corey Wren, right? Everybody was like Corey Wren with that speed. Why is he not on the field? Corey Wren transferred out and didn't even get on the field with TCU. Span's very much in that same predicament where the fans are expecting so much, and at some point you got to realize that speed. Football is not a game of straight line running. Agility is arguably more important than speed, and just because Span runs fast in a straight line doesn't mean that he should be on the football field. I'm not saying he doesn't. I'm just saying, as fans continue to try to force this square peg in this round hole, and it might not just be that. Same thing they kind of tried to do with Corey Wren. Fisk might be the next Timmy Jernigan. Wow. He has been a problem on the way. I think, again, I told y'all Fisk was my favorite transfer, so I'm not surprised. I don't know if Timmy's the comparison, but we'll see. We'll see. Punt returner, you got to catch the ball first, and that's what Coleman does. Again, I'm not mad at Coleman being at punt return. Again, I'm not mad at the depth chart. I can't think of anything on that depth chart that I would be concerned about. JT predictions: 4K yards, 200 rushing yards, 50 TDs, and 15 INTs? Yuck. Is that 50 total TDs or just 50 throwing touchdowns? To Travis's credit, I don't see him throwing 15 interceptions. He actually takes care of the ball fairly well. I'm gonna adjust your numbers here. I'm gonna go about anywhere from 3,700 yards plus. I'm thinking more 300 to 400 rushing yards. 50 TDs is a lot. Don't know about 50 TDs, but if I can get 30 throwing and 10 rushing somewhere, I'm more in the 40 touchdown area, and I think he keeps it under single-digit interceptions. I agree with you, Ronald. I don't think anything on the depth chart is necessarily surprising. I don't. Except for some of the O-line stuff. O-line stuff is a little interesting. But outside of that, I'm not too surprised about much. 34-8. It's not bad numbers. I'm not mad at those numbers at all. Hell, he only threw 4 last year. I don't know about 4K. It's going to be some blowouts. Yeah, I don't know about the 4K either. I'm late. What's up, Ardavius? We talked a little bit about it. I think that was one of the surprising things off the depth chart. Polk, stay safe out there. When you get home, I know you're gonna, bro. Boy, you see this? I gotta get this shit off my head, man. The first thing I do when I'm getting home, I'm hitting the liquor store and the barber shop. Good shit. Can't wait for the stream after we win a national championship. Bro, if we do that, Tyler, I don't even know. I would have to do something crazy for that stream. Deloach is FSU's, what's it say? Hold on. Deloach is FSU's Harold Perkins and more, if you ask me. I mean, we'll see. I know this is old, but Trayshawn. My chat keep jumping, y'all. Sorry. Every time I'm reading, the chat jumps. I know this is old, but Trayshawn is behind DJ Giddens. Is he? He's not starting? Was Trayshawn Ward not starting at... Where'd he go to? He went to Kansas State. Correct me if I'm wrong. Are you telling me that Trayshawn Ward left Florida State to not start at Kansas State? That's very interesting. Straight speed only good versus Miami. If Travis wins the Heisman, I will buy some spotted cow beer. I will buy some spotted cow beer from Wisconsin. Is the hurricane going to affect anything with the practices and the game? I don't see why would it affect the game. From what I saw, the path of that hurricane is more so hitting, I don't know, what do you call that? It's the panhandle and like the armpit of Florida. I don't know if it's going to go right over Orlando. I don't, it could affect practices. I don't know so much about Orlando, though. Those numbers get him high, third, fourth. Bless was the only surprise since he's a starter last year before getting injured. My guy going, man, you should just jump. Polk, what do you think they doing with the tackles? I don't know. I'm interested to see how that develops over the course of the year. I'm kind of a firm believer of just putting your best five. And that's, I think the only thing that concerns me is you can't give me 4 better offensive linemen than Bless Harris, I don't think. And Byers is probably in that same mix. So I don't know why we are, for me it's like, okay, if it's Robert Scott, Jeremiah Byers, Bless Harris, Maurice Smith, and then is it Meach or whoever, Bless should be starting as far as I'm concerned. You feel me? So that's just me, though. Pope, what do you think they doing with... Okay, read that one. What's going on? No, sir, not me. He said the liquor store and the barbershop. What type of... I don't know yet. Why do I not like me? Look at it. What's there to like? It's just a mess. Classes are closed. Polk is back. Watching LSU beat, they seem confident. But I agree that the secondary will not hold up against our receivers. They should feel confident, right? But we good. Central Florida only getting bands of rain. Yes, Orlando should be good. Now, it could affect practice for the week. But Orlando should be good. Leon County Schools out on Wednesday. Don't know about FSU. Finna look up K-State starting lineup. Yeah, please do. Because if he's not starting at K-State, bro, you could have just stayed here. Or you should have just stayed home. You should have just stayed home. The whole point of you going to K-State was to be the guy. So, in my opinion, seeing Bless not starting and Dustin Hill starting means we have a lot to be excited about because we know both rooms are loaded. And I don't disagree. O-line needs a little bit more cohesion, right, than your wide receiver room. But I don't disagree. Just to inform, school is closed by Tuesday afternoon, so practice is for sure canceled. 2 people not taking this storm serious at all. That shit is a Cat 4 to Florida, Cat 4. Florida hot water. Hey, Floridians, I can't speak for y'all. Growing up, Florida native, do we ever take hurricane serious? I know I mean, I ain't the only ones. I know we ain't the only ones that used to have the hurricane parties, y'all. Come on now, hurricane parties. Uh, I mean, I grew up. Charlie. Was it who? What was the three that hit the same year? Charlie, Gene, and Irene. Weren't those the three? I mean, those all crushed Central Florida. And we was without power, but I mean, Floridians, man, we used to that stuff. So when people, some people don't take the hurricane serious. I'm not saying we didn't take it serious, but we, it was what it was. You know what I'm saying? I remember in the eye of the hurricane, everybody in the neighborhood outside on like 4-wheelers riding around. So, hey, Florida, man, we different. We a little weird when it comes to these hurricanes. We don't really take them that serious. Won't someone get suspicious? With the door locked. Oh, I don't care. No one. First of all, no one comes in here. I'm the only one with the key, so ain't nothing to be suspicious about. Travis J and Cooper not starting for Colorado. Should have just stayed home. Ward is 2 on it. Yeah, that's terrible. That Trayshawn Ward went all the way to Kansas State to be number 2 on the depth chart. I lived in Florida my entire life, 37 years old, not worried. I think Norvell let Ward know that they had Holmes and Rod coming up too. Same as he told Amari to go get more. Amari is the one. Amari was never going to make an impact here. Apparently for Trayshawn Ward, it's a game time decision on who's going to be the starting running back. Similar to our Winston Ryan Dustin Hill situation in the slot. Charlie, Gene, Ivan, and Francis. It was Ivan. I called it Irene. I knew it was like definitely 3 hit Central Florida that year. I don't think Francis hit us. I know we had those 3 hurricanes back to back when I was in high school when that happened. Good times though. Missed a whole month and a half of school. Good times. That's true too, man. We ain't supposed to take hurricanes seriously. They really haven't done anything since 2001. That's a great point by Marcus. Day off, or every day is kind of a day off. I'm literally sitting around, guys, waiting to come home. So I'm not really doing a lot. So I've done my time in the box, as they say. Travis J apparently had shoulder surgery. Man can't catch a break. That's tough. Well, who do I think breaks the rock? Give me a minute. Looking for the light, y'all. Give me a minute. Where's the light at? Is this a light? Nope, not that light. I guess that light will work. Let me see. I think my screen froze. So I missed some comments, guys. My bad. Hold on. My bad, y'all. My screen froze. That's why I got quiet. I'm trying to move around and find some better signal. Who do you think breaks the rock if we win? Whoever's player of the game. Man, all right. I appreciate y'all for coming in and kicking it with me. My signal's acting up. But we did over an hour. And it's only Monday. There's no Wi-Fi. That's the problem. There's no Wi-Fi. All this is coming straight out of AT&T. So we're gonna cut it short here. We'll cut it short here, y'all, and then I got some more stuff I want to do this week, man. But I appreciate y'all. Hit the like button. Hit the like button, subscribe. Dial up, you got mail. Right, dial up connection out here. It's your boy POLK, man. I'm gonna get out of here. But I appreciate you guys. And I got some more stuff for y'all this week. But it's your boy POLK over here on 863 Seminole TV. Stay classy.